Hi, Laura.
Hey, Jen.
Oh, I like that sweater.
It just got so cold that I have workout gear on. I'm like, oh, I'll just do the interview in my sweater.
Love it.
Thank you so much for doing this today. I think that I really want to convey your journey, and especially how you found opportunities everywhere. Opportunity was on the beach for you.
Mhm.
And then I'll just ask you some questions, but essentially just your story of taking a chance, going for it, how you felt before, how you felt during, and then what's now on your horizon because of that experience.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to start here. Okay. So I am Laura. I am the co-founder of the Successful Nurse Coaches, and this is our interview series that we do with some of our clients. And today we are going to interview Jennifer Yang. And the reason why we wanted to interview Jen is because she just completed an international retreat that was epic. And her story of how it happened, the opportunity, how she felt before, how she felt during, and now with having that under her belt, what that means for her practice. So I would love for you just to kind of share a little bit about who you are, what you're doing now, and then if you want to tell us your story.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jen. I'm a nurse coach, one of Laura's apprentices. I have a private practice. I've been in business for a little bit over a year, and it's grown in ways that I did not even think was possible. It was beyond my perception. And one of those reasons is because of the retreat that I just got back from. This was last summer, as I was putting together the building blocks of my practice and even considering even starting it, when I met another Laura on the beach. I live in a place where kiteboarding is huge. It's one of the top destinations in the US, Outer Banks, North Carolina. Really small rural beach community, and people come from all over to kite during the summertime. So I'm constantly meeting people on the beach. And the unfortunate thing is that they don't live here, so I don't really get to have these connections for very long as people come and go. But Laura and her husband, Jonathan, were here all summer, and we met randomly on the beach. They and their dog were the only other people on the beach when my group and my dog showed up, and our dogs ran up to each other and met and started playing. And at first she had kind of ran through their camp, and I was like, I'm so sorry. She's still a puppy, and obviously they're dog people, so it's okay. And over the summer, we got to know them really well as they stayed and lived out of their van. And come to find out, halfway through summer, they own a kite safari business based out of Egypt, and invited us to come along sometime. Anytime we got the opportunity, we're welcome to join. And at first I was like, yeah, when am I ever going to get the opportunity to do that? Like, no way, never. And then, I start my practice later on in the fall, and things start growing, and I'm starting to understand how business works as a nurse coach, because as nurses, many of us may not have ever started a business before. So we're really starting from scratch and learning a new skill, coaching and building a business. Then halfway through spring, I get a random text from Laura, who I have not spoken to for a while. And she had this idea of creating a safari for just women. And she wanted it to be a retreat style. And so she invited me to teach yoga. And at first I thought, oof, yes, I'm trained to teach yoga, but I really have not been, because I'm so focused on building my coaching practice. But this was an opportunity that was presented to me, and it it really lit me up. My body was saying, hell yes, this is awesome. When you were offered that opportunity to go to Egypt and you thought, oh yeah, never in a million years would I ever be able to do that. This is your chance. So I said, heck yes, without even really thinking about it, and knew that whatever was going to happen was going to be amazing because this is presented to me, and it fell totally in line with what I was doing in my nurse coaching practice, and allowed me to stretch beyond virtual coaching and take it to the next level.
Yeah.
So then over the last the 2 months that led up to the retreat, we really didn't know if it was going to happen because it was based on the number of signups. We needed a certain number of signups and deposits to pull this off. And I didn't buy my plane ticket up until like 2 weeks before the trip. So that's when I knew, okay, this is happening. And that's when I was like, okay, crap. I have not done anything. I haven't planned the retreat. I really didn't get any direction on what she wanted out of it. I know because this is her business and I was assisting her. She also works a 40-hour full-time job. And so she had all these ideas that she was sharing with me. And I was just, my ideas were up here. So I kind of had a freak out moment. And I was like, wait, I have a coach who does this. So I consulted my coach, Laura. And within 30 minutes, we were able to put all of my thoughts on paper. I felt so much more confident after that call. And I was smooth sailing after that. I mean, I started doing research, and having gone through a retreat myself with Laura and some nurse coaches over the summer allowed me to get a feel for what that was like, because I had never attended a retreat before. So I was really grateful to have had that experience before leading one myself.
Yeah.
So I got on a plane and I got there, and but sorry, before I'm backtracking now, we had planned this maybe over the phone like 3 times. We got on the phone, talked for like 3 hours, a few weeks up until we left for the trip. And I put together an itinerary. I made sure that there were activities each day and created that in Canva and presented it to Laura. And she was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I can't thank you enough for taking this on, because I am working 40 hours a week. I have 2 kids and a single mom and traveling back and forth. So it felt really good to create something and have someone else validate the work that I did and be on board. And we were on the same wavelength as far as what, putting all of her ideas and my ideas on paper and making it real.
Right.
So we got there, and each day we just checked in with each other and was like, this is great. This is going really well. And we're able to just stay in communication with each other and get a feel for the group, because that's so important to gauge what the group needed. Come to find out towards the end of the week, I didn't teach as many yoga classes as I had intended, because the other half of the trip was kite boarding. So we were physically exerting ourselves daily in the hot Egyptian sun and in the water. So yoga was secondary, still an important part of the trip. And then the daily workshops and classes that I had planned for, they didn't happen each day, but I had something planned and something to fall back on. And I chose the best ones that applied to the energy of the group.
Yeah.
And I think it worked out great. And so, this was a great first experience, and heck yeah, we're going to do it again next year. And actually, just before this call, Laura texted me and she said, hey, I have ideas for doing something in the spring, like putting on a retreat for spring of 2022, so that we don't have to wait another year until September 2022 to do this again in Egypt. And I was like, cool.
Yeah. And that kind of leads me to my next question is you came back kind of or on a high and integrating all this in, and then you began to dream into existence a retreat for you where you live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now Laura saying, hey, I want to do something in spring. Do you feel more prepared because of where your mind's already been?
Oh yeah, definitely. It sounds like she's got other ideas and I've got other ideas, and just how we want to do it the same and other ways that we might want to do it differently.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I don't know if she wants to do it in Egypt in spring. That would be great. It sounds cold, but I'll do it. And the other thing is, yeah, I actually got together with my friend Louisa, who I had mentioned this to you a few weeks ago, coming back from the trip. I'm so energized. I want to do this here where I live because no one else is really doing it.
Yeah.
So if I could just recreate that experience and bring it to my local community, how amazing would that be?
Yeah.
So we got together yesterday and we brainstormed and, put two heads together. And so now all of my initial ideas have doubled. We've kind of gotten it down to like, what are the next steps? Hiring a chef, what's our budget? So it's really exciting. That's where we're at right now.
Do you have a date?
Late July of 2022. We're going to play it by ear and just check the wind because this is a very weather dependent sport.
That's true.
So that's another factor.
Yeah. What's been your greatest learning? Like, what do you think you learned most about yourself through this experience?
Oh, I'm so much more capable than I give myself credit for.
Can you elaborate on that?
I mean, I have had the idea of wanting to incorporate the outdoors in my coaching practice as a way to promote health, keeping people outside and active and moving their bodies, and just taking a different approach to wellness and coaching. It's not necessary to meet in an office and sit across from each other when you can be walking side by side in nature.
Yeah.
So it's allowed me to think outside the box and be creative and unconventional. I think I have always been unconventional, but I was afraid or fearful of judgment and, like, is that even professional? Can I do that? What would people think of me? And I've kind of created my own definition of professional lately, because I feel like there's a standard or a box that I needed to fit myself into. And so I've really harnessed my own creativity with my personal practice and how I help other people heal. So I would say creativity, because what I used to do in mental health nursing is pass meds, have therapeutic communications, like all of my tasks were laid out for me. I had certain things that I needed to do. So there wasn't a lot of creativity in the work that I was doing. Whereas now I feel like I'm tapping into my potential that I didn't even know existed.
I love that. Yeah. So what I pulled out was that you've always felt unconventional. And now you're starting to realize that you can be professional and successful and be you and be unconventional at the same time.
Yeah.
And that there's space for creativity, infinite space for creativity.
Oh, yeah.
And you earn.
Yes. Did you say earn or learn?
Earn.
Yep. Earn and learn.
You earn and learn.
Yep.
What do you love most about your life today compared to how it used to be?
Freedom comes to mind because I have time freedom, location freedom, and these are these are the things that I have been working so hard towards the last 2 years. Even before I decided to join nurse coaching or pursue nurse coaching, I was like, if I could create a life where I loved the work I was doing, loved working with the people I was interacting with, and feeling fulfilled in my work, yet still be able to incorporate traveling and working when I wanted, when I had the most energy and capacity to do so, rather than working 12-hour shifts and being burnt out and being expected or asked to take extra shifts. So I'm at the point where I get to say I get to go to work and I love the work that I do, when before it was like, oh, I have to go to bed because I have to wake up in the morning and I have to go to work.
Mm. Oh, I remember that. The Sunday scaries, right? Like,
Yeah.
you have to be to work on Monday morning at 7, and Sunday you're already perseverating over how tired you are and how should you call in. And
Mm-hmm.
if you could tell your baby entrepreneur self one thing, what would you
Okay.
tell her?
Just hang on. You can do this. Um, Trust yourself. You're not crazy. Your ideas are not crazy. So hold on to them. Don't let go. And find a mentor. Oh, find a mentor. Find a coach. Find someone who's going to hold you accountable for pursuing those crazy ideas and dreams and goals.
Mm. I love your story. I think that story about just being in the right place at the right time, cultivating a relationship over time, and then really what you did for this retreat is you showed up and you gave it you brought so much to the table for Laura, for this other woman. When you came and you said, this is the work I've done, this is what my vision is, this is what here it all is, and she's like, oh my gosh, this is wonderful. Do you love collaboration? Do you thrive in collaboration?
Yes, I've learned that. I love it. I really enjoy it. Oftentimes I have all these ideas and I have a really hard time making it a reality. Because I am so in my head and I get caught up in my own limiting thoughts and beliefs, whether it's even possible. And when I team up with someone else, it comes from a different lens, a fresh perspective. Like, yeah, why can't we do this? So there's, that camaraderie, and you have ideas from other people and presenting it in one place and creating something beautiful out of it for so many people.
If you could, so say somebody's watching this right now and their ultimate goal is they want to run retreats, and maybe they've never even coached before, or maybe they're just starting. What would you say to them about having the vision of hosting a retreat, and what would you tell them to do right now?
I would tell them to sit in meditation, however that looks like for you, walking meditation or sitting in silence, and visualizing what that looks like for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Write it all down. After that, write everything all down, down to like the colors of the napkins that you use, because I've learned that your thoughts create your reality. So if you write down everything that comes to mind, drawing it, however you want that to look like, painting it, that's one thing that you can do, one easy thing that you can do to get started, and it doesn't take a lot of time.
Awesome. Yeah, that the term like butts to seat, to put your butt in your seat and get it out of here and out here, and then share out here with someone else who will say, yeah, you can do that. Oh yeah, it's not a problem. I think those 3 things, right? You're saying take the time to sit and visualize, put your butt in a seat, get it out. And then through collaboration or mentorship or colleague sharing and having that other person validate, and not only validate, but that lens of, yeah, why wouldn't you just create it? It needs to be created. I think you've been chosen to create it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, if and when you open a kite surfing retreat to the public, we will put that link in this interview. So I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay.
So if somebody watches this and says, I want to go kite so bad, because it's beginner, intermediate, advanced, it doesn't matter, right?
Right.
Right. And you're watching this and there's a link on this YouTube channel at the bottom, then you know she's created it and you can enroll and you can get a hold of her and join one of her amazing retreats. All right, Jen, thank you so much for spending this time with us. And I hope you have an amazing day.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.